Hey guys, it's Glenn from Chocotastery. Back at it again. So here is just your 30-minute warning. You're gonna want to come back to check out another fun chocolate tasting. I think you may know already. It's Potomac chocolate. Ben Rasmussen is going to be in the house. We're going to go live with him in a half hour. We have our chocolate bars ready. You may want to just calm down a little bit. You will get your hands on these later today, and you will crash his website ordering all of them. And so just hang in there. 30 more minutes. Come back. We'll solve all your chocolate needs for this afternoon. And there's a lot more really fun chocolate tastings going on. So, check out the schedule, go check them out, and then be back here at Chocotastery with Ben and myself, and we'll see you then. Okay? Bye. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the 4:30 session with Ben Rasmussen of Potomac Chocolate. And so we're going to wait for him to join. All right. Hey, everybody that's joining. All right. We're going to wait until, let's see if once Ben arrives, we will get him here. All right. You. Ben's joining.
Oh,
Yes. Hey, Ben.
hey,
Hey. How's it
nice
going,
shirt.
buddy? I know,
Going
right?
great. Yeah, I got the new one.
Oh, see. I should have wore the new one. All
Oh,
right.
we would have been twins.
Next time. Next time.
Yeah,
How you doing?
that's the definition of coolness when we're both wearing the same shirt.
Oh man, I think I just need to grow out my facial hair and lose some more hair, and then
Yep.
we twins.
Yeah, it'll come. So
Awesome.
I'm doing good. How are you doing, man?
Hanging in there. This is tough time, but we're all really just fighting through it, and we're using chocolate to get through it. I think that's all we can do.
Yeah,
Support each other, and it was great that you had accepted my offer to do this joint tasting to help support you guys or you essentially. There's no team, just you.
my family is also appreciative.
Of course, they have to eat too.
Right.
But I wanted
Well,
to yeah.
I really appreciate the offer. I think it's really cool what you're doing, and helping out a bunch of us makers. I just think it's awesome. So thanks a lot.
Cool. Awesome. So I know you talked with everybody yesterday, gave them a little behind the scenes tour of the factory. Now you're at, I guess, your store, right?
Yeah. Well, there's a blank wall. There's the front.
Yes. Nice.
There's the press. Oh wait, is that the press? Yep.
The letterpress.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
So we have some treats today to do some tasting.
Indeed.
Yeah. So welcome everybody's coming in. There's a lot of people coming in. If you have any questions for Ben or myself, just shout them out and we'll get to them. Lots of hands waving and hearts pounding and all that stuff. But yeah, Pipeline Chocolate, you could probably check it. He missed the it's on the YouTube channel. Thanks
Yeah.
to Cacao for mentioning that. But yeah, are you ready to taste some chocolate?
Yeah, totally.
All right. So for people who don't know that are joining, I do my own chocolate tastings, and I see that this is flipped. So bear with all of that. I do my own tastings in person and now online. And so we have a little guide that will, talk through and stuff like that. Checking the color, make sure, it's just, brown enough for you and your liking. And then the snap to see if Ben does a good temper job. Then smell the aromas, and then obviously taste to see like what we're actually tasting and if it's pleasurable or not. Welcome everybody who's keep on joining.
Or not.
I know, right? If you spit, we could also spit it out too if you want.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
All right. So you have the lineup there with you too, right?
I do. I've got mine. I printed it out, and then it occurred to me that my printer here at the shop is just a black and white printer because I just use it for printing shipping labels. So none of my bars are going to match these colors.
Awesome. Damn.
Yeah. I didn't think about that in time.
It's all good.
Yeah. Amateur hour.
We'll make it. Yeah, I mean, fake it till you make it, I guess. So we do have 4 bars. I'll just hold them up here. We have the Upala, 70% Tamaco. One of my favorites, the toasted bread with your sourdough bread, and then toasted milk. So let's start with the Upala.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about Upala and what's your inspiration around this bar.
Upala has a really special place in my heart. When I first started Potomac Chocolate, me and my partner at the time we were looking around for a few different. We tested out a bunch of different origins, and at the time it was really hard to get cacao. Really, the only place for a small amount that we needed was John Nancy at Chocolate Alchemy. And so I actually worked with John Nancy for several years, sourcing this bean from him. And then after a few years, he stopped carrying it, and I made contact with Juan Pablo Boucher down at Naua Cacao and Chocolate down in Upala. And I've been working direct with him ever since. It's a great bean. We'll talk about the flavor, of course, but one of the things that I really like, this most recent harvest and this most recent shipment that I've gotten from him really harkens back to the flavor of that the original bean that I used back in 2010. Over the years, as harvests go on, different things change and the flavor changes a little bit. And so this most recent one, I feel, is really just this like great throwback to what it was back then. So yeah.
Awesome. It's at 85%, and so basically Ben's fairly new molds from a couple of years now. I say it's new, but it's been so many years since your 100 Kickstarter campaigns to help you fund your business. So you can see all of the fish and then the loaves of fish and all that. It's a little like, all that. But all right, so we really can't compare. So we get to see it's dark brown a little bit. So we'll hear the snap.
Oh man!
All right, so. So I guess that was a good temper. Did anybody hear that kind of comment where you're watching from, so you could see how far around the world that snap went?
The snap around the world, awesome.
All right, so
I think that's definitely in the. Where's my finger? There we go.
The sonic boom.
Yeah. All right, I've already got some broken up chunks. I'm going to pop one in right now.
All right.
How should we taste it? Oh wait, you're leading. I'll listen.
Yeah,
Sorry.
well, we want to smell the aromas first. What are you smelling right now?
Mine's too cold. I can't smell anything.
You warm it up like you do this.
I know. Rub my fingers on a little bit. So I'm getting definitely deep cocoa.
Yeah, me too.
There's an earthy woodiness to it, and then just a hint of a fruitiness to it. What about you?
Yeah, I got a lot. I guess I have like a little like cold or whatever, so like my aroma detecting abilities are kind of sucking right now. But I do get like that chocolatey note, and maybe some of what you said, but it's tough for me to get that right now.
Sure.
But somebody, I think Rusty had asked from Pipevine, why did you choose 85% for this bar?
So I actually I make this bar, or I make a few different bars with this bean, a 70% and 85%, and a nib bar that is sadly on its way into the vault in a little while. Yeah. I'm working on a few other new bars, and so it's one that's getting that's going away for a little while.
All right. Well, let's try it.
Why with 85% with this one? I started with the 70%, and I really wanted to experiment with something a little bit darker. I actually have a whole story for this. I don't know how much time we have. I don't know how much...
We have 20 minutes left. We haven't tasted anything yet.
It's so good. I'm going to tell this story real quick.
Okay. I'm going to start tasting it. No.
Okay, you start tasting it. I know what it tastes like. So when I very first started, Biagio Petriello, I'm sure I'm massacring his last name, was the owner of the shop Biagio Fine Chocolate, which is now known as the Chocolate House. Just fantastic chocolate shop. He did that first year I was in business, even before I started selling bars, he organized a chocolate symposium at the American Indian Museum at the Smithsonian. And Mark Christian of the C Spot let me use one of my bars, but he said, I know you're doing a 70%, which is the only thing I had made. He says, but really I need something in the 80 to 90% range. And so this is the bar, more or less, that I made. At the time, it was an 82%. I've made it a little bit darker.
Chocolate House DC is in the house.
That's right. He is the best. And the only memory I have really from that tasting was there was a woman about 2 rows in front of us. Nobody knew that me and my partner at the time were in the room. And so Mark was really pumping them for input. And one of the ladies up 2 rows in front of us spat it out. And did not care for it at all. Then Mark introduces us, and she was mortified. She came up to us afterwards. She was so nice. She's like, I just don't care for chocolate that dark. So anyway, it was the first time anybody else outside of family and friends and Biagio had ever tried any of my chocolates. It was a great reaction.
Well, that's great. You know, first impressions are great, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I was getting like a smoky note and like whatever, like reminiscent of like leather almost. But it also had like some chocolate, like chocolate and coffee notes also.
Yeah, definitely. I typically describe this one as earthy, and there's this nice nuttiness in the middle. That I get, and then at the end, definitely kind of this like coffee, smoky something there. You know,
Yeah.
None of those would really describe it, but in that kind of family. So.
Yeah. So Laughing Gull Chocolates says we try not to judge people by how dark they like their chocolates.
Try.
Nice try.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, we should keep on going to this bar here, Tamaco, Colombia, 70%.
All right.
I could tell you that this was the bar that you had just made. Was it after your second or third? I think it's your third Kickstarter, right?
Yeah, the most recent Kickstarter. Yeah. So this was the bar. So whenever I've done a Kickstarter, one of the things I've done is I've made a new origin bar and made that as part of the rewards. You know, everybody would get some of the chocolate. Are you pointing out my biodegradable packaging?
Yes, I noticed that before that you sent. We got logistics and all that. He sent me more bars, but I had an older package, and so it's like completely different size. And on the back, there's like a whole eco-friendly icon and stuff.
Yeah, there's cool. a very long and boring story about how that all came about.
Another we'll have to do another Instagram live for that.
Even more boring than the last one. We'll talk about that.
All right. So here
Oh
we
man,
go.
they already sold all of their Tomaco. I need to get you some more.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't love this bar? I don't know. But it's we could compare bars. I think it's a little bit darker than the Upala by like little shades, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. I think
Um,
they were a touch more red.
Ready?
Yep. Oh,
Damn. All right.
oh,
So
Hawaiian cacao ceremony likes my packaging. Thank you.
nice.
All right.
All right. So you
I'm laughing.
obviously
The
you
chocolate house.
obviously can't smell either.
Well, no, I'm laughing because the chocolate house just placed an order through this chat.
We're being efficient. Stay
That's
home
right.
with chocolate and buy more chocolate. We'll tell you
It's,
in a second how you can get this
yeah.
outside of the chocolate house. Mm.
How do you think the mouthfeel on this one compares to the 85?
Mm.
Oh, you look concerned.
I'm just taking in all of the floral notes. It's completely different from the smoky, woody, and like tobacco-y notes I was getting in the Ubala. No, it's really
Yeah,
good. Um, it's like creamier too.
yeah, definitely. Sorry, as I choke this down. Definitely a higher fat, higher cocoa butter, cocoa bean
Mm.
than the Impala was. Uh, yeah, definitely creamier, floral. Again, some like I think even more distinctive nuttiness in there.
Yeah.
And then that floral at the end really just kind of tweaks a little bit into just like a green tobacco or something like that.
And
Um,
there's like a brightness that's like almost like a fruit.
yeah,
Almost like you get a tinge of acidity like towards the end of it. Awesome. I could eat this whole bar in one sitting again.
let's watch it.
All right.
Oh man,
So El Brig 3. We just finished the Tamaco Columbia 70% bar. Sorry for the flipped images because Instagram, I don't know how to change that.
why did
Um,
it do that? Stupid.
I don't know. I don't know. If you know, let us know.
You see chocolate uplift? She calls it a psychedelic bar.
Yeah, no, it is.
Yeah,
See, Hawaiian cacao ceremony also says they ate the whole bar. So,
yeah.
you buy it and you have to just buy two at a time so you could eat one at one time.
We're six.
Yeah, or six. All right. So the next one up is the bread, the sourdough bread. So please share us with your story of how this all came to be so many years ago.
So Valerie from Chocolate Uplift is asking a question: how do I derive the flavors for Tomaco, the special roast, etc.? That one is yes. It's a very. I find it to be. Yeah, I do a very mild roast on it. Very gentle. So not a lot of high temperatures. I'm not a believer overall in kind of the slow and low roasting philosophy. But this one, for a certain point, really likes, especially near the end, really likes to stretch that out, and that really brings out those nice nutty notes. It doesn't drive off the floral notes and that kind of thing. So yeah, so the roast for this one, and then when I'm conching it, very low temperature to really kind of trap as much that not a lot of acidity or anything that I need to worry about driving off during the conching process, and so. Yeah, so just really, this is just a great tasting bean. And so mostly what I'm just doing is trying to get out of its way.
It's
That
great.
wasn't a joke.
Everybody's loving it in the comments. Um,
Yes.
uh, awesome. Dame Cacao just said she finished her milk and cookies bar. We have the toasted milk in a moment, so you could have more of that with us. So yeah, so we're looking at the toasted bread crumb, toasted tower
Yeah.
crumb, toasted sourdough breadcrumb bar compared to your Tomako, and it's a little bit darker, I think, coming from like the back end here. I think it's a little bit, I don't know, this one.
It's hard to see on camera.
Yeah.
Well, my temples are a little beat up, so it's hard to tell there.
But it's really cool is there's pieces of the breadcrumb in there, so it's a textural wonderland is like basically it. So here, ready?
Yeah.
Ready?
All right. So not as resounding as the 85%.
Exactly.
The reason is when you put other stuff into chocolate, breadcrumbs or coconut or milk powder or anything like that, it basically produces like fault lines. Where the cocoa butter crystallization isn't solid all the way through, and so when you're snapping, that's what you're hearing. It's the cocoa butter crystallization snapping. And so when you have these other things in there, that makes a smaller snap. So this is a Dominican and Peruvian blend. I think, and somebody was asking if I baked the sourdough. Yes, I actually I baked the sourdough bread. I started baking sourdough bread a couple of years ago, just kind of for my own amusement. And then Marisol from the Chocolate House said, "What? You're baking sourdough bread? When are we getting a sourdough chocolate bar?" And that's how it came about. So people always ask me, how did you get the idea for a sourdough chocolate bar? And I have to tell them, I didn't. Somebody told me to do it, and I listened, and she's totally right. So with this one, normally you want to, as the tasting guide here says, you usually want to just let it melt. But this one, because it's all about that texture and getting those toasty notes from the breadcrumbs, this is definitely a munching bar.
Yeah. Oh. I could totally confess that I do munch on this a little bit sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, what you want, soggy breadcrumbs? No, it's all about that crunch. Oh man, that's a good bar of chocolate, if I do say so myself.
I love like that salt.
Yeah. Yeah, so in addition to breadcrumbs, it does have a little bit of West Virginia sea salt in there.
We have 9 minutes left, so we could slow down a little bit.
You're kidding me.
And, yeah.
That's shocking that we've taken that long already.
30 minutes flies when you're having fun.
It certainly does.
Yeah. So before we taste the toasted milk, I want to just tell you guys how you can support Ben and Potomac Chocolate. So we work together to curate this 4 bars, the 4 bars for today's tasting, but we're also he's gonna have it up on his website, right?
It's up there.
Okay, perfect. So go there and order the 4-bar bundle. How much is that bundle?
$36.
$36. So you get that, and then within the next 2 weeks time, once everybody has their bars, we're going to do a live tasting. We could do it through a Zoom call, so everybody can join, and basically we could talk through the bars again, and everybody could taste while we're tasting, and then you could ask all of the more private nerdy questions to Ben, or any random questions about, like, Ben, why do you have these weird shirts that you keep wearing that have fish on them, or something like that. It's our time to have a really cool question and answer session with the guy behind the chocolate. So we'll do that in a couple of weeks time, but go there to the website, potomacchocolate.com, go to their store, get the bundle, $36. And you also get my chocolate tasting guide and my tasting sheet, which I'll send to you all by email. And so, we're all supporting each other, and Ben, so yeah. So we do have a question here.
Yeah, it's a good one.
You want to shout that out while I get the next bar ready?
So how important is the sourcing of the beans to you? Do you have any direct relationships with farmers? And how concerned are you about ethical sourcing? How important? I personally think it's the most important thing that I or any chocolate maker does is sourcing good cacao, both for a flavor standpoint. You just can't make good chocolate out of crappy cacao. but also for an ethical standpoint. I want to make great chocolate from cocoa beans. I want to feel good about supporting farmers. I want farmers to continue to grow the beans that taste really good. And so I want to source in an ethical way to make sure that they are getting basically the money that they need to keep doing that and to have a good life. Do I have any direct relationships just with the Upala Costa Rica cacao? For the rest of it, I work with Uncommon Cacao, and I've got a new bean coming in from Meridian Cacao as well, who are both ethical cacao importers that are able to bring in much larger quantities than I am. So that's a really quick answer to a really important question. But the first part of it, how important? 100% important.
Perfectly said. So we have the toasted milk.
Yes.
And I love your tasting notes for this. It says intensely creamy milk chocolate with rich notes of caramel, highly addictive.
Yes,
right. So,
I've decided to be more and more absurd as time has gone on.
I thoroughly enjoy your packaging and all of your puns and all that. And so it's
a real indictment on. Did something happen? Oh, can you hear me?
I had a message come in.
Okay.
Because I'm going live in 5 minutes on Facebook with another session.
Right,
it's all
right.
good. All right, so the basically 49%, right?
Yep.
From Dominican Republic and Peru. Right, ready?
Yeah. Yep. Hey, that's not bad for a milk chocolate.
No, it's not. I like it.
If I say so myself.
Oh yeah, it's literally all caramel. That's all I'm smelling.
Yeah,
that's
so the toasted milk part of this is that I actually cook the milk in a pressure cooker. I probably should have pointed that out when I did the tour. I had a tub of this toasted milk powder, and so it's basically just milk powder that's been caramelized. A lot of people would do it in an oven. I do it in a pressure cooker, mostly so I can walk away. It's awesome. So.
Yeah, this just screams highly addictive. Somebody with a nice sweet tooth.
Yep. Yeah, and it's interesting because it is. There is a little bit more sugar in this than the 70% bars, but not a lot. Like that milk and that creaminess. And there is a touch of added cocoa butter. It's just really, really eatable. I could just bar of chocolate.
I know between you could see the darkness. You could tell obviously your black and white paper is not going to really decipher this, but you could see it's really nice light brown. And I think I'm just gonna do another round. I could make the rules and I could not follow the rules when it comes to chocolate tasting because there are literally no right or wrong. So
yeah.
Do you have any other last parting words for all your fans out there today?
Thanks for all your support. I appreciate all of you who have tuned in to my 2 sessions. Thanks as always to all the people who are putting this festival together. I think it's great. I've had a ton of fun watching a bunch of the other videos, getting on there and posting little comments that distract them as well. So I think it's great. I hope this inspires you all to with the desire to support craft chocolate. I sure hope that after this whole coronavirus stuff, after life returns to whatever the new normal is, that we haven't lost a bunch of craft chocolate makers. So I really appreciate everybody who's tuning in. Buy some chocolate, support craft chocolate world.
Yep. So once again, go to PotomacChocolate.com, get your 4-bar bundle for $36. Come join a chocolate tasting in a few weeks. If you have any questions, just let us know. All 4 bars, we want to crash Ben's site. So share that and we'll send out this video. So share it. We'll make some post about the bundle. Let's really support Ben and his hard work and the great addictive bars that we've been tasting today. And I'm not sorry that you guys are all jealous that you don't have any.
But you can. You can have some.
You can have some in a couple of days.
There's a lot of discussion about shrimp chocolate bars. I currently do not have a shrimp chocolate. So,
oh, did you ever try that one from the guys in Singapore?
Is that Fossa?
Fossa, yeah.
No, I haven't. I think I tried one of theirs with mushrooms or something.
Oh, that one's good. The mushroom one from Naive is a favorite of mine.
Oh, yeah, maybe that's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
I haven't tried the shrimp one. I don't like shrimp, so it doesn't. So.
Yeah. Choco Coffee One. Let's crash the Potomac site. Let's do it.
That's right.
All right,
Sounds
guys.
good.
Thanks so much for joining. Go support your other makers. Go check out the other sessions. I'm going to be going to Facebook right now. We're going to be doing a live session with the Fine Chocolate Club. Ben, have a great rest of your day, weekend, and I guess, stay strong and keep on making more chocolate because we're going to be crashing your site soon.
Will do. Awesome. Thanks so much, Glenn. This was awesome. Thanks.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.